Let's say hello everyone over on the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel. This is Kelly, and today I'm going to be creating a spring card with one of our oldies but goodies. This is called the Birds and the Bees. And then I'm going to pull a sentiment from one of our newer sets, this beautiful Hello Spring, and I'll show you where all this comes from. But I'm going to do a little bit of coloring, a little bit of pattern paper layering, and then just doing a really fun kind of springy design with this branch and cute little birds. Let's see. Hello, Tucky Blue and Vicky. Hello from Tasmania. Wow. Thanks for joining us today. Okay, so make sure that if you pop in that you leave us a comment, because that's how we choose our giveaway winners at the end of the live stream. And so I am just going to get started. So I have all ready to save us time today. I have stamped the branch, as you can see here. I have a little bowl of die cuts, so I've got some little birds. Let's see, the little nest. And let's see here, some of the little flowers. Now the little flowers, I kind of cheated, and I used some flowers from one of our pattern paper pads. So this is the pattern paper that I'm going to be using for all of the layers today, and even the cute little flowers here. And this is called Spring Fling, but I am just in love with all of these beautiful spring colors and fun patterns. And so this is the paper that I've chosen to use today. Hello, Valerie in Oregon. Hello. Okay, so it's that. And then, of course, I've used the coordinating dies to cut out the branch and the cute little birds and the little nest here. And for the nest, let's see. Hey, Tucky Blue, brand new catching a live video, but today, but I always watch the. Oh, cool! Thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining us live. I stamped the little nest onto some Nina Desert Storm environmental cardstock, and I used Gathered Twigs Distress Oxide ink. So I kind of like this look for the nest, and so I won't have the stark white paper there behind. Let's see. Hello, Lori. Okay, so I'm going to get started kind of building my card. And I am going to stamp my sentiment first. Now I have cut some of that pattern paper with our double stitched circle dies. You can see that beautiful kind of cantaloupe-y color paper, and everything is going to perfectly match because it's all from the same paper pad. Now I am going to add kind of a fun little backer here to add some fun layers, and I cut our scalloped and stitched circles out of some heavy duty vellum. And so I'm going to kind of layer these together, have kind of this little scallop that peeks out back there. Let's say hello, Janet and Damari. Hello, Marcy. Okay, so I am going to get started by stamping my sentiment onto this top circle. And our sentiment is going to say, hello, spring. Now to help me out in my Misty stamping tool, you can see this green kind of really dirty mat here. Well, this is a sticky mat that goes into like your silhouette machine or a Cricut machine. This is just an inexpensive mat from, I think I ordered these from Amazon. Hello, Linda. And I cut these up and I place these mats into my Misty, and it's going to hold my die cut in place. It helps with odd shapes like this that you want to stamp onto, and it just holds everything in place so you don't have to worry about your magnets or anything like that. So that, I always get questions about the green mat, and that's what that is. Let's see. Hello, Beth. How are you? All right. Everyone from South Carolina. Beth, do you live in South Carolina? Let's see here. I recognize your name, Beth. You're one of our friends that like to pop in often. Let's see here. I'm going to use some Versamark sticky ink to do some embossing. I'm going to emboss my beautiful Hello Spring in white embossing powder. And so I'm just going to ink this puppy up. Now I did treat, Beth is from South Carolina. I did treat this with some anti-static powder first, and I'm just going to set this down. So Beth, it's funny that you say that because my husband's military and we are moving to South Carolina this summer. And so I know nothing about your state. So I'm super excited. We're always up for a new adventure. And so, yeah, it's going to be super fun to explore South Carolina. We love to camp and do things like that. So we're all really excited. Let's see here. So the sticky mat, do you get the light stick? I don't. And I'll show you. Let's see here. I'll show you here in just a second. I need a piece of cardstock to kind of funnel my paper back in. When it's really sticky, you have to be really careful not to tear your paper. As it gets dirtier, it makes it easier. But I always kind of like to get it dirty a little bit. You may even rub it like on your jeans or your, sweatpants or your yoga pants, whatever you're wearing. And you can kind of take some of that sticky off that way. But I always also like to use a tool just like this. Who was that, Damari? I always like to use a little tool like this, and you can kind of really get up under all your little die cuts and very gently pull them up that way. The dirtier it gets, the less sticky it is. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see here. Hello, hello. I see everybody coming in. Okay, now I have my embossing powder on there for my Hello Spring, and I'm going to heat this up. Now, the reason that I did this not in the center of the circle, but towards the top, is because I know the cute little branches on my tree over here are going to kind of come across the bottom of my little circle. So I'm going to go ahead and set my Misty aside, and I'm going to heat up my tool. Let's see here. Let's see, Beth is excited. I'm excited too. Midlands and beautiful beaches. Call me anytime. I'll tell you the best places. Oh, you're so sweet, Beth. That's awesome. I may look you up and message you like on Facebook or something and ask you. I know my husband will be at Shaw Air Force Base, and so I think that we may kind of head towards the Columbia area, but we're not quite sure yet. This is all new to us. Okay, so I have my beautiful sentiment here, my Hello Spring. Let's see, to take off the sticky mat, that is. Let me make sure I'm not missing Vicky here. Can you use the anti-static powder tool? Yes, that's actually would be a good way to kind of rub your little tool over, and it is going to remove some of that stickiness. Yeah, that's a great little tip there. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to do a little bit more coloring on, you're not far from there. That's cool, Beth. Thank you. I'm going to do a little bit of coloring here. You can see I've left some leaves open and then the brown, the branch. And so I have a couple of colors. Now I pulled my greens from the colors of the pattern paper. So you can see where this pattern paper leans a little more chartreuse and olive even. So that's where I'm kind of getting my color scheme here for the leaves on my little branches. Thank you, Valerie. You're so sweet. Let's see. What if you use the Cricut mat for your machine first? And as it gets worn more, cut it for use on your stamping pad. Absolutely, LaDonna. That's you can absolutely do that. I do not use a die cut machine anymore. And so I didn't have any leftovers. I used to have a Cricut way back in the day. I didn't have any leftovers, and so they have some very, very inexpensive sets of those. I think I purchased those on Amazon, and I think like a package of 3 or 4, maybe even 5, or are about $14. And so they last a good long time too. Mine that I have now is extra dirty. I have stamped the whole last release with that mat, and so it gets dirty quick. And then I accidentally spilled my embossing powder on it the other day, and that makes a giant mess because all that powder then sticks right to that mat. Okay, so I simply colored the bulk of the leaf, or the whole leaf, with G82. So I hope you guys can kind of see that there coming in. And then I'm going to take YG95. So this is really going to pull in those olive tones. And I am going just kind of to the underside of the leaf, not coloring the whole thing in. I'm not doing any kind of fancy flicks or anything like that. I like to keep it simple. And so I'm just going to go here kind of to the underside of each leaf and just add in that olive. It's going to give me a little bit of color variation, and then it's also really going to pull in those colors from that pattern paper. And then as I go over this, that color from the Copic markers is going to kind of settle and blend in, and there you go. So let me hold that up close and let's see if that will, there you go. So you can kind of see that, nothing fancy, but you can see that variation in color there. And now I'm going to start working on my stem here, or my branch. Let's see here. Hello from Greenville, South Carolina. Stormy today. Let's see. Now you have an embossed sticky. I absolutely do. I have an embossed sticky mat. Okay, so my lightest color for my branch is going to be E23. And I'm going to go over the whole thing very carefully, getting in here in these little bitty areas. And this marker is almost out. I know that I need to refill it, but I think for something like this, for this branch to where it's going to be kind of streaky anyway with the wood look, I think it's going to be okay. Some things, sometimes I like a little bit of an empty marker. I know that sounds really weird, but I kind of like it sometimes for the texture and stuff that it adds in. I know that's probably not the norm. Let's see here. Let me read your comments. Hello. Let's see here. Angie has come in. Angie is from Greenville. See, I'm going to have to learn my way around South Carolina. I'm super excited, though. I'm super excited about the state's history and things that we can do there. I am a homeschool mom of 2 kiddos, and so we love, I'm just going to keep going over here, we love to go on adventures, we love to camp, we love museums and outings, so we're really excited. I know that your state has a lot of really neat. Let's see here. I'm in Lexington. Kelly is moving to That's right. I sure am. We're excited. And we're kind of excited. I know that Air Force Base, and this is like TMI for you people that come here to watch us colors, but I'm just storytelling as we go. It is home to a lot of fighter jets. And my husband is a helicopter pilot by trade, and so it's going to be really cool for us to be around a new community of people. So, and for my little boy to see those really cool jets. So that'll be fun. Okay, so this time I'm adding E27, and this is going to be my darker, and I'm just going to go in and add some shadows through here on the lower sides of the branches, just like so. Nothing fancy. Maybe add some little streakiness for my branch. And there we go. I'm going to call that good. Let's see here. I homeschooled too. My son-in-law is an F-16. Oh, cool. They're in Germany heading to South Korea. How awesome is that? It's really a small world, the Air Force is. Okay, I've got a little bit more. I need to finish coloring my one little birdie here, and he is going to be super simple. He is in BG10, and I'm going to do this one color and then add a few flicks of the same color just to darken up his belly. So I'm going to go over here and then add a few flicks up from the bottom just like so to really darken that belly up and the bottom side of the wing. Just like that. Let's see here. We have so many museums, Riverbanks Zoo, and loads of hiking. Oh, that's perfect for us. Our family loves all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's see here. His little beak. What color should we make their little beaks? So I've got a baby bird, a mama bird, and a daddy bird here, all with their little beaks. I'm thinking maybe a yellow. So maybe this kind of mustardy that's going to blend in with the pattern paper. You're not going to see a whole lot of their little beaks. We can't leave that not colored. Okay, so here I think we have got everything done and we're ready to start building our card. My bestie from high school is at Space Command on the Gulf. Oh, well, that's cool. Okay, so I have a teal colored card base, just top folding. This is A2 size, so our 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now my first piece of pattern paper, and of course, let me lay this here so you guys can see it. All of the pattern paper today is from Spring Fling paper pad. So I'm going to lay that there and you can see those beautiful colors. Now this one, I love this really dark, almost black. It's kind of a charcoal gray with all these beautiful florals. And so I knew that I wanted that here on my background. So I cut it to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to add that with a little bit of tape runner. Oops. I kind of like using the older sets. I believe this Birds and the Bees stamp set and die set is from probably a couple of springs ago. It is not retired. It is still available in the shop. This paper pad is still available in the shop. I checked on all of that. And then because I mentioned before that I really like this floral paper and I didn't want to cover it completely up. So I cut this a little smaller than this 1/4 inch right here, or that may be 1/8 inch. I cut it at 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And so a little more of my floral paper that I really like, those colors would really poke out from the side and those little flowers there. And so I'm just going to kind of line this up and eyeball it just like so. There we go. Okay, now the next thing I need to do is add my sentiment because I know my branch and my birds are going to come across the bottom of the sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and add and layer my circles together. And as I mentioned, this one is using the double stitch circle dies. And then this layer is using our scalloped and stitched circle dies. And I'm just going to kind of very carefully set that there. And then you can see those fun kind of scallops that peek out from back there. Oh, she's trying her best to own every set, honey. At least that's what oh, I hear you. I hear you about the hubby. Oops. Okay, I'm going to put this on right up here, and if it hangs off just a little bit, that's okay. I'm going to make sure that my sentiment is nice and straight. Get everything pressed down, and you can kind of see how everything's coming together now. And then I'm going to add my little branch. And speaking of fighter jets, I just heard one go over just now. Okay, let's do that. We have here at our base, we have A-10s and we have tankers, which are C-130s. And then we have the aircraft that my husband flies, which is a helicopter like the Black Hawk. So lots of fun. It's been a really fun military life. It's been a good life for us. I can't complain. Let's see here. So I'm going to add this on and have it kind of sweep across the front. And you could pop this up on pop dots or whatever. Let's see here. All right. So this is all kind of down. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim off these little leaves that are hanging way off, and then the rest of the branch that was hanging way off. And then let's flip that over, and now you can kind of see where we're going here with the card design. Okay, so the next thing, let's add our cute little nest. And then I may want to pop this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and pop it up. I have a little bit of foam tape left over here from when I did our egg shaker cards on Tuesday night. So I'm just going to tear off a little sliver of this and add behind my little nest. The Blue Angels used to train at Shaw. Oh, that's cool. The Blue Angels. They are at Nellis now, I believe. We used to live at Nellis Air Force Base as well. We have crisscrossed the United States. Okay, so I've got my little nest nestled in there. And now I can start adding my cute little birds. Let's add the little baby bird first. Let's see, way back in the day, I was, oh, very cool, in high school. My husband did that as well when he was in high school. I think that's really cool for kids to have the opportunity to do that. Okay, so we've got baby bird nestled in there, and then I want to add, let's see here, mommy or daddy bird on one side, and then the other on the other side. I'm going to pop these up with just a little sliver of foam from my leftovers. I'm going to have him kind of sitting here, checking on the little nest here. I'm going to really press that down. And then I'm going to add this little guy. Let's say, hello, everybody popping in. So I'm creating a spring card today. Let's see, is the circle a light wood paper or is it peach? I really like it. It is peach. It is from the pattern paper pad that I'm using today that is right here. It's called Spring Fling. And that peachy paper that I'm using is right here. It's actually a really wonky kind of dashed stripe. So let me hold it up close for you to see what it looks like. But all of those colors are just going to kind of blend in together and go with one another because they're all from the same pattern paper pad. Now I took the colors for my leaves and my birds and the little flowers that I'll add for a minute. I took them all from the pattern paper. So everything would just kind of coordinate nicely together. Okay, so I have my little family here, and then even these little flowers. So I kind of cheated. Let me find the piece of paper. I took the paper that is right here that has these cute little yellow flowers, and I actually fussy cut out some flowers. That is not really like me to spend the time to fussy cut, but I stamped out, and I'm trying to find that little piece of paper for you. I stamped out the colors or the flowers from this stamp set. And you're kind of getting a flip through here as I go. Here it is. So you can see the size of these. I really wanted to pull out the yellows, which I've almost covered up, but it's going to look really cool and springy right down here to pop on a few of these little flowers. And I simply took a few off of a corner and then trimmed those out. But are really fun colors. I think this heart here is one of my favorites. And you can see all the beautiful paper and florals. So this one is called Spring Fling, if you're interested in that. And it's an oldie, but a goodie. Okay, now for my little blooms, I'm going to be a little fussy. And I'm going to take my pad and my little stylus, and I'm going to curl these up to give them some dimension so they're not just on my card flat. And so that will give them a little bit of fun. So you're not going to be able to tell really that I cheated and cut those out of that pattern paper. It's going to look like I spent a lot more time on these than I actually did. Let's see here. Love the paper pack. Let's see here. Beth's dad was in the Army, but he retired when you were born. I was a surprise. Oh, I hear you as a retirement surprise. I bet your parents were shocked. How funny. Okay, so I've got one more little bloom. Whoops. One more little bloom here that I'm going to curl up and get it all ready to go. And then these are going to be so easy just to add a little dot of our liquid glue and then pop those on. Let's see here. The military bat. Kakalaki. South Kakalaki. I'm not sure what Kakalaki is. I must have missed part of the conversation. Okay, so I'm going to just add my little blooms here and there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can even add one. Let's kind of add one up in here to pull it onto that peachy color. Let's see here. Let's get our tweezers. Get these kind of set down. And of course my tweezers are sticky, probably from embossing powder or embossing ink. Here, all those nestle down, and then one right down here. Okay, so here is where that's going. Okay, so what do you guys think? My mom was 40, oh my word. I bet they were shocked. And see, I could even take some little gems or little sequins or something and pop in here, but I'm kind of liking this little branch with the cute little birds and the little blooms all from the paper pad. The only thing that wasn't from this older set, this Birds and the Bees set, is the sentiment, which is Hello Spring. And that is from our new Spring Joy Bouquet. So this set has a lot of great just resiliency type greetings. So that spring gives us so many beautiful reasons to be happy. Hello spring. A kind word is like a spring day. So any of these really would fit here with the birds and the bees and kind of the spring theme that I have going on. They were beyond shocked. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so before we do our little giveaway, let's go back through and I'll just kind of, for you guys that are popping in, I'll go back through and share with you all of the supplies that I used. But for the little circles here, you can see I've got a couple of layers of paper, and I used our double stitched circle die for the peachy colored paper. And I used the scalloped and stitched circle dies, whoops, for my vellum layer that's kind of hiding back here. All of the pattern paper and even these little blooms are from our Spring Fling paper pad. So you can see how beautiful all that springy, yummy paper is. And then the stamps and the dies are from a set called The Birds and the Bees. So you've got your little branch, a little birdie family here, and then there's some extras. So you can make it into an apple tree, pears, lemons, cherries. There's some little blossoms. There's a little bee nest or a wasp's nest. There's little bees flying around. And of course, there's a cute little birdhouse. Wanted to hang the birdhouse from the branch. So let's see here. Does anyone have any questions before we go ahead and do our giveaway? Let's see here. Love the vellum. Yes, it's just a subtle little accent back there. Turned out, thank you, thank you, thank you. So good to be able to celebrate spring. Absolutely. All of our shrubs and things down here are blooming, and it's starting to get, are you going to stamp on the inside? I hadn't thought about it, but I totally could. Let's see here. Let's do, I could even do a little birdhouse maybe, or I could take the branch. Let me get a longer, so excuse my reach here. Let me get a longer thing. I would probably, if I'm going to stamp on the inside, I would probably do a kind of tone on tone. So maybe like a peacock feathers. And let's see. This would just carry the design onto the inside. And I'm going to put it here, and then I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. And of course that's not going to set down, so let's eyeball it and then set it down. And I'm going to hold it just for a second and let that ink set in. So ready for it. I need the double stitch circles. Yes, they are so handy. Okay, I've got that down. And now I'm going to pick it up. And then you can see that's just going to carry the design from the outside into the inside. And then it's subtle, the tone on tone. And then I have a large space there still to write my message. And so you can see how that's going to carry everything from the outside to the inside. So cute. You could even add like a little I love you, or let's see here. There's a love you here. There's a thank you. So a little sentiment would fit right here if you wanted to add that. You could add your little signature down here, write your message, and then add your signature. So lots of little ideas that you could use with adding your stamps on the inside. So I hope that helps for some ideas. I love to add part of the stamp set to the inside, yes, or the envelope. Perfect. You could even take, let's see, like I've got leftover paper in here in my paper pad. See, I could take one of the coordinated pieces and maybe even cut a sliver off. So I could add, whoops, I picked that. I could add a little banner of paper here at the bottom and pull in some of the colors from the outside to the inside. So I'm glad whoever that was that mentioned, what are you going to do to the inside? I'm glad you mentioned that. I always kind of forget to add things to the inside. Let's see. What's wrong? Let's see here. Oh, how funny. Hello, best husband. Love it. I'm so glad that you guys are liking it. Tone on tone is perfect. It is perfect for the inside. And then really, it looks like it's almost part of the paper. And so if you needed to bring your message, and like I said, your signature down here, it really is all going to blend and still be beautiful. You're welcome. Okay, let's do our giveaway. So let's see here. Use some pattern paper for an envelope liner. Absolutely. Okay, so here is kind of our little cheat sheet here. And then I'm just going to scroll through and let's see here. Let's see here. Valerie, I hope I pronounced this right. Niver. Valerie Niver. You are the winner of today's giveaway. So if you'll just make sure that you have an account set up over at honeybeestamps.com, And then if you will email my friend Lisa at honeybeestamps.com and tell her that you were the YouTube winner, she's going to pop your prize right into your account. So thank you so much, Valerie, and thanks for tuning in. Congratulations. Let's see here. Love the dimension of the tiny flowers. And yes, they really pop up if you hold your card like this. You can see I have a little dimension. Oh, I lost a bird. This little guy flew away. I'm going to have to add some other adhesive. Yeah. Um, but I have my little family and my little popped up little blossoms there. And that handy dandy little tool that I use that's a little, let's see if I can find it. Oh, this thing with this is available at honeybeestamps.com. So this is really great to use with all of our bouquet builders or even pattern paper, just like that. So super easy. Lots of ways to use and get more use out of all of our tools and our paper. All right, you guys, congratulations, Valerie. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thank you, Miss Beth. I will be contacting you, I'm sure. I'm super excited to move to your state. And I will see you guys next week on Facebook and Instagram. And I will see you later. Have a great weekend and happy crafting, guys. Bye.